All rise. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. This Honorable Commissioners meeting of Roane County, Tennessee is now in session. Honorable Chairman Darrell Meadows presiding. God bless these United States, great state of Tennessee, in this honorable meeting. At this time, Commissioner Mike Hook will lead us in prayer. Afterwards, please remain standing for the pledge to the American flag. Mr. Hooks.
Let us bow our heads. Father, we're thankful, Lord, for another opportunity to meet, Father, to negotiate, to plan, and to approve, Lord, the things that are put before us tonight. Praying, Lord, that it make our county a better county and that to live in, our state a better state. Father, but most of all, we lift up those that are among us, Lord, that needs prayer. Lord, and we pray for them that you just put your arms around them, secure them, keep them safe, Lord, and touch them with that healing hand. Lord, and we pray, God, that Father, Lord, those in our audience this evening, Lord, we pray for those. If they have a need, Lord, reach down and fulfill that need. Father, now we ask, God, as we move on into our business, Lord, that it will be conducted in decency and in order. Lord, it's something that you would be pleased with. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. If you have a cell phone, you turn it down.
Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Roane County Commission session. Before we get into our agenda, I'd like to turn this over momentarily to Mr. Ron Wood. He has a proclamation he'd like to read. And if everyone involved could come up here.
So, excuse me. So this is a proclamation that has been signed by Speaker of the Senate Randy McNally and 12th Senate District Ken Yeager. So this is from the Tennessee Senate Office of the Chief Clerk Proclamation. Whereas it is fitting that we salute those outstanding healthcare professionals who devoted their careers to the well-being of their fellow citizens. And whereas one such noteworthy individual is Jeannie West Hendrickson of Harriman, who was recently selected for inclusion in the Trademark Women's of Distinction 2021 Honors Edition. And whereas the Trademark Women of Distinction Honor Edition is a trusted resource that highlights the professional accomplishments and stories of today's best and brightest women in business. Those successful individuals who exhibit determination, courage, leadership, patience, and discipline. And whereas Jeannie Hendrickson currently serves part-time as a licensed practical nurse, she was vetted alongside 150 other women of Tennessee who were nominated for the award before ultimately being selected. And whereas during her more than 20 years nursing career, her excellent professionalism and pride in her work have earned the respect of her peers and managers alike. And whereas Ms. Hendrickson recently adjusted her nursing career from working full-time to working part-time as she was transitioned to serving as a full-time freight broker agent overseeing her own brokerage agency, Big J Brokerage LLC, located in Roane County. Now I'm going to catch my breath here. Whereas Ms. Hendrickson has been a highly respected member of the nursing profession whose humility, personal touch, kindness, and acuity are admired by her colleagues and patients alike, and she will most assuredly bring those attributes to her new career. And where Ms. Henderson looks forward to making this her best year ever, along with her son Jonathan West Bennett in freight brokerage, while the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic did a toll on her business, 2021 has proven to be her best year ever. And where Ms. Jeannie Hendrickson epitomizes the spirit and commitment that are characteristics of a true Tennessean. And whereas we find it appropriate to acknowledge and applaud Ms. Hendrickson for her excellence in all endeavors therefore. I, Randy McDowell, Speaker of the Senate of the 112th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, in conjunction with the undersigned, do hereby proclaim that we honor and commend Ms. Jenny West Hendrickson upon her induction into the Trademark Women of Distinction 2021 Honors Edition, and extend to her our best wishes for every future success. Thank you.
Can we bring the rest of them in?
Sure, please do.
Hey, Judy.
Some of Jeannie's family's here.
Jonathan, Jim.
Jim.
Okay, I see that everyone's logged in. We do have a quorum. Next up is approval of the minutes of the October 18th, 2021 meeting. We have a motion by Commissioner Gann. And I don't know if we got a second. Is there any comments or? Oh, wait a minute, I could have myself approval. Okay, this is on approval of previous minutes.
That's it.
Bill's your second. Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion by Gann, second by Bell. Any questions, comments before? It looks like everybody's voted, but I don't think we have.
The approval of the minutes, go ahead and vote.
Well, we're not having discussion first.
Yeah. Is there any discussion on these? Hearing none, everybody vote. Okay, that did pass. Next up is the acceptance of committee reports and correspondence. We have a motion by Commissioner Hester, second by Commissioner White. Commissioner Hester?
No comment.
Commissioner White?
I have nothing to add.
Any comments, additions, or corrections? Seeing none, let's everybody cast a vote. Okay, the committee reports and correspondence have been accepted. Notaries, do we have any notaries up?
We're waiting on those.
Are we still waiting on a vote? Okay, so that does pass. Okay, next we have approval of notaries.
Okay, we have 7 notaries this month. Natasha Brunel, Christy Carr, Brianne Daniels, Elizabeth Fowler, Michelle Harris, Joan Curley, and Savannah Miller.
We have a motion to approve these notaries by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner White. Commissioner Henderson.
Appreciate their willingness to serve.
Commissioner White.
Nothing to add, sir.
Any other questions, comments? If not, cast your vote. The notaries are approved. Next up is hearing of delegation. This is where anyone who is in the audience can come up and address the commission. All we ask is state your name and address for our minutes, and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Anyone want to address the commission? honey, I'll get you next.
My name, I have to sign in, right? My name is Lucinda Sheff. I live at 661 Dearmond Road in Kingston, Tennessee. Right in Kingston, 37763. Okay, this is a very difficult subject. I'm here tonight to see if you all are up to speed. And that's why I'm here addressing the county commissioners today, who are tasked with funding the schools. And I come here tonight on behalf of 801 members of the newly formed watchdog groups and clubs of Roane County, which consist of Conservative Parents of Roane County, Conservative Club of Roane County, and Roane County Independent Conservatives. And there is a problem I would like to make you aware of that has been brought to the attention of the school board members, some administrators, and a principal, but has yet to be addressed. Under Tennessee law, middle school teachers are not allowed to bring up or have materials relating to sexuality other than natural reproduction. And this law has not been enforced. At Cherokee Middle School, it took weeks for the watchful and concerned parents to get the pride flag taken out of the library, and even longer to get the confusing preferred pronouns removed from a bio page. The presentation, That You Should See Me in My Crown, was put on hold when the parents objected. This book by Lee Johnson is set in a small town and is about a girl running for prom queen in hopes of getting a scholarship to college, and then she falls in love with another girl. There have been solicited suggestions and recommendations via a Twitter account of an employee at Roane County Schools for what queer books and young adult graphic novels should be placed in the library. Now, deviant books have also been suggested personally to students and bought personally for students to keep in school and not take home and not to tell the parents. Many of the books being stocked at Cherokee Middle School Library can be found at the website queercomicsdatabase.com and lgbtreads.com. These books in the library feature characters and subjects such as pansexual females and males, lesbian non-binary, genderqueer males and females, polyamory queer Asians. Since very little has been done so far about the disregard of the Tennessee law dealing with this subject from K through 8, and since nothing has been done to stop the grooming of the students for ungodliness, what can you do as the funding body of the schools on our behalf through our property taxes? And I want to thank you for listening to this difficult subject, and the 801 of us await some movement on this issue. And again, I come here from the Conservative Parents of Roane County, Conservative Club of Roane County, and Roane County Independent Conservatives. We do not want to pay for deviance, deception, confusion, and ungodliness being sown in young people. It is a moral issue. We must act. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I ask a question? Ma'am, when did you,
Yes, what?
when did you notify the school board?
I did not go myself to the school board, but I know that the person here has talked to the school board members, a couple of people. I've personally called some school board members, and a principal has been spoken to.
Okay, but in their meeting, in their agenda, or any of their monthly meeting?
No, this was a private, may I please come in and speak to you type of thing.
Okay.
She's here.
You have my email, ma'am?
Is it on the website? I have it all printed out at home, yes. Would you like me to do
Will you
what?
send me that? Send me a copy of that information.
Okay, I will, and if I could also send you some of the Twitter stuff, if I can do that.
I probably wouldn't.
Okay, I understand. I have the same. Okay, I will send you this. Thank you.
Tony.
Good evening. My name is Tony Byer. I'm with Roane. We're a 5013 not-for-profit company in the county. I have several things to go over. I'll try to speak fast because I can't get into detail on any of them, but I do have a handout for y'all. First thing up, Roane is sponsoring a contest, a essay contest, We have 5 categories: elementary school, middle school, high school, college, or technical school student, and a qualified TN reconnect. We've been advertising this since October 8th. So far, we have, in the 5 categories, we have respondents in 2 of the 5 categories. We're giving away a laptop computer and $100 per winner. So there's $500 out there. And I must mention that Kent Calfee, our local representative, state representative, donated the $500. And I'll give you a copy of this, give out to constituents. Second item. Roane has been received a $6,000 grant from AT&T, and it's for digital literacy training. And we have 4 internships in process. We have 4 internships, 3 categories each. We have 2 of them filled, but we're looking for a digital marketing and creative media internship for the 3rd, to fill up the 3rd thing. These people get $500 stipend, and after completing, if they complete 24 hours of service, they also get a free laptop. So you can get $500 and a free laptop by applying and getting this internship with us. We talked about this before, about probably 3 sessions ago, 3 months ago. David Pryor was here from Morrison Hill Community Church. We have established a lift zone, and that's a partnership between Morrison Hill Community Church, ourselves, Roane, and Comcast. There's 10 stations out at that church where anybody can go in from whatever their operating hours are to use the computer for free, internet access for free. We're looking to expand that to another service area, and we're looking to find somebody to partner with. Roane donated 10 computers, Comcast donated free internet service, and Morrison Hill donated the space and, of course, all the service, electricity, lights, and all that. The last thing that I have, you're all probably familiar with the infrastructure bill passed, right, November 6th. And within that, there is a lot of money. I think it's $550 billion for internet access. Okay, we have a flyer. We are a affiliate member of NDIA, which is National Digital Inclusion Alliance. We are an affiliate member chapter here in Roane County, and they have they put out a press release of what all that means to us. So with that, I will leave you with that, and I will also pass out to you these handouts on those 4 subjects.
Thank you, Tony. Anyone else want to address the commission? Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I'm Nina Sisson, 105 Mossy Creek Drive. I just wanted to follow up on what Lucinda was saying previously about the school. I'm the one that she was speaking about as far as I've just had problem after problem with Cherokee Middle, which was disappointing because we were very excited about the school. And it just seems to be one particular area, which is the library. The amount of books, if you do a search on the library school books, the amount of books that are sexually explicit in Cherokee Middle it went from about 6 to about 37 in a matter of a couple of weeks of just ordering books. And when you compare that to the high school, it's dramatically different. The high school has 2 or 3. The other middle schools have nothing. So it seems to be an agenda that's being pushed extraordinarily hard at that school. I spoke to the principal no less than 5 times. Definitely wants to do something about it, feels his hands are tied. I spoke to the school board. Tony Clower, I've spoke to no less than a dozen times. Again, really feels like he wants to do something about it, but he feels his hands are tied. They told me my best option would be to read each of the books and write down page numbers that I opposed in each particular book. But one of the covers has 2 women kissing where you can see their tongues on the cover of the book. I don't feel like I need to read that book to understand there's a problem with this book in middle school when our oldest student is 14 years old. And now they're starting an LGBTQ club in that school. Again, our oldest student is 14. I'm not sure why we're promoting clubs that are focused on sex preferences. So I removed my student from the school, but I feel like this is a disservice. And I feel like a lot more parents are going to look to move students from this school, which I don't think is good for our community. I think the public school should be a place that we encourage. So I'm concerned about this agenda. Just wanted to bring it to your attention. I have tons of emails I can forward to you regarding this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Evans asked that you repeat your name so he could get it in his notes.
Nina Sisson, S-I-S-S-O-N.
One more time.
S-I-S-S-O-N.
First name, Nina?
Nina, 2 E's, N-E-E-N-A.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And ma'am, you said you spoke to the school board, to the entire board?
I requested a meeting twice with the superintendent. I didn't address this at the school board meetings because you're not supposed to speak about any particular person, and that's who I really felt like I had a problem with because it was the ordering of the books. Probably I could address it like I have here with just the library in general, but when I was speaking to Danny Wright and I spoke to, I spoke to 3 different school board members on the phone personally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good to see everybody. My name's Justin Snow. I'm the Vice President of Economic Development at the Roane Alliance, and I have some exciting news to share on the economic development front. The 40-acre Jones Road site, which is located in Roane Regional Business and Technology Park, is under a pending contract. During the IDB meeting that occurred on October the 25th, a purchase and sales agreement was signed to sell the 40-acre Jones Road site in the business park to a notable commercial developer out of Atlanta. Their letter of intent indicated that they would be purchasing the land to build a 200,000 square foot spec building. The company is currently working through a 90-day due diligence period, and we're hoping that the closing will occur within this time frame. So as far as project benefits, this project is a great multi-million-dollar investment within our community. It has the potential to provide a number of good-paying jobs. It will increase the tax base in the county, and the transaction will provide funding that could potentially be used for future development of sites within our industrial park. I've invited the Industrial Liaison Committee for a meeting next Monday at 5:30 at the Roane Alliance, where we can share more details about this project. So I anticipate there's probably going to be a few questions, so I'll open it up for questions.
Are you going, is that being put out by email yet, or by the meeting?
I have worked, Amber's got it scheduled. Yeah.
And when you say several good paying jobs, what's the?
Well, we don't know. I mean, when the board met and you're looking at identifying success, when you've got a developer that's looking to invest in your community to build a much needed building, so they're investing, it's going to increase the tax base. We know at some point this large building is going to attract somebody to Roane County, the next big industry. And we're just hopeful that when that industry gets here, that it's going to provide a lot of good paying jobs for the community.
So this company's just bought the land to build a building?
Yes.
Ms. Berry.
Congratulations
Thank you.
so far.
I've worked hard on it for 4 years.
I know you have. I know you have. And I guess my question would be, as we've developed Jones Road, we've put a lot of our economic resources into Jones Road.
Yeah.
And I know at one time, we were talking about Jones Road really needing X number of jobs for it to fulfill what we wanted it to do.
Absolutely.
I know in a couple of cases, we've got fairly large buildings in the park, but some of them haven't produced a lot of jobs.
That's true.
So will we have some type of agreement, or do we lose all of our authority after we've granted them the sale of the property, or do we have a provision that it's going
I
to
can tell you that we tried to negotiate that.
Okay.
But you're right about Jones Road, so I'm going to go back to you. As far as the investment, 5 years ago, we built a new access road, bringing direct access to the site. 3 years ago, we graded half the site. The board felt that partnering with this company to bring a large existing building in is just another marketable item to bring that next big industry in. I can tell you a lot of the leads of the projects that I'm getting from TVA and the state, probably 50 to 60% I'm having to turn away because they're looking for a large existing building we don't have. So we feel that getting this large existing building gets us.
What is our largest building in the industrial park?
It would be Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, and how much is that?
If I'm not mistaken, Ron, it's about 450,000 square feet.
Okay, and how many jobs do they have now?
About 30.
30, okay. So that's all. I just know we've worked really hard, and this obviously is one of the very few hits that we've had on it that have. Is 200,000 square feet, is that pretty much the ongoing target now for folks with spec buildings?
I can tell you that of the project leads that I see, that 50% that I can't respond on because we don't have a large building, about a third of those are looking for something 200,000 square feet or larger.
Or larger?
Yes.
So we're still, I guess, we're still limiting ourselves then to a specific size in that 200 square feet position, but I'm assuming that we could go higher if we needed to.
There's room to expand on that land. So, and that's something the board really discussed because there's a different number of factors you can look at in how you determine success. Whether it be jobs. I wish I knew the amount of jobs this project would bring.
Right.
But this project does check off a lot of the boxes that we're looking for. As far as capital investment within the community, increasing the tax base.
And what was the economic development standpoint? How much were we talking about? That they're going to invest?
Well, I don't want to get a lot of details in the contract because they're still within their 90-day due diligence period.
Okay.
But I can tell you if the transaction, if we're able to get to closing, it'll produce closely to $1.5 million in the transaction. And like I said before, that could be money that can be reinvested to develop other sites within the county.
Okay.
So this project checks off a lot of boxes for success.
While you're here, can you just briefly update us on the training facility? I saw in the paper we had the...
Yeah. So there was a groundbreaking that occurred on Thursday, October 28th. There was about 50 people invited. So Governor Lee was there, Senator Yeager, County Executive Roane, Woody was there. He did a great job speaking on behalf of the county. So great job, Ron. I can tell you that there's a federal facility called the CNRAF, Simulated Nuclear and Radiological Activities Facility. We're more involved with the state-funded facility. The Roane County IDB is seeing the development of the Emergency Response Training Facility. And both of these facilities are scheduled to be completed, hopefully, November of 2022, about a year from now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is Volkswagen still getting tax incentives?
Their tax incentive will end at the end of next year. It's at the end of 2022.
Okay, I thought there was an agreement that they would keep so many employees on hand as more than 30 to continue getting them tax incentives. So if they're not reaching that, are we going to pull the tax incentives?
I'll have to look at the details of that agreement to see what was in it. I know there's a lot of the agreements are written to show direct and indirect jobs that are created too. So although they might only house 25 or 30 jobs, the activity that they're bringing in is creating external jobs.
From what I remember being told, that they was Volkswagen themselves right there, in industrial park, was supposed to keep 60 or 80 employees on hand at all times.
I can check.
To-
I don't think it's that high, but I'll check to see what it
It
is.
was to continue getting them taxes in.
That's something we can look at. I'll pull that out when we have the industrial meeting next Monday.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
Great news.
I do want to mention that I know only 50 people were invited to the groundbreaking ceremony, but we're looking to have a topping off ceremony at our facility here in the next upcoming weeks, where we can invite a lot more officials to come out.
Mr. Brooks?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This push on electric vehicles, is that going to have an impact on the vehicle?
I said it will, it's going to trickle down. It's a huge focus with our state economic development plan, and it's going to trickle down, and it'll be a huge focus here again.
Justin, thank you again. Anyone else like to address? Yes, sir.
John Dennis, hey, how y'all doing? Company. I'm really grateful for Lucinda and the other young lady, the other young lady that is attempting to be watchful for our children, our grandchildren. We all appreciate that. You know, there's the forces out there. There's so many. It's just trying to force feed their thoughts and feelings on a different segment of society, the ones that are trying to live a more godlike type life and of cleanliness and self-discipline. Anyway, thank you, folks, and I also wish to thank Ron, and I'm sure there's might be a few other veterans in here. That day is coming up, and I think back, our veterans started way back, maybe before, but at least General George Washington, the imperfect, but like us, everybody's imperfect. But he was a good general, and his founders of the Constitution of the United States, several of those were God-loving patriots, and I'm thankful for our veterans. I would like for everybody to think about them in the beginning of time, as far back as we can, at least at the beginning of this country, and until the present. Good generals and great military people we have now that really love this country, and they'll do anything for us, and we won't be meeting here without them. You know, we really won't. Okay, so this week I challenge everybody to look for a veteran and give them a hug. and thank you so much for them, And Rockwood City Park is having on Thursday a little shindig to honor the veterans at about 11 o'clock. And I would like to, just a short, Dave, by request of David, my hopes to express what Samuel Smith wrote in the 1800s. My country, 'tis of the sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where our fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. My native country, the land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love thy rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills, my with rapture grows like that above. Let music swell, that's my music, but let music swell the breeze and ring from all the trees sweet freedom song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake, let rocks their silence break, the sound prolong. Our Father's God to thee, the true author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God our King.
Your next district. Could we have our veterans stand just for a second?
Absolutely. Veterans, would you please stand?
I think everybody, yeah.
Thank you so much. Next up is County Attorney's Report, Mr. Lefevue.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing to report, but I do want to issue an apology to Commissioner Ron Berry. Last month, I was asked to make a determination under Robert's Rules of Order, and you had the floor, and I cut you off. And I was wrong to do that, and I apologize.
Well, if that's all you've got to report on, Mr. Counselor, we're in good shape. I appreciate it. 'Cause you won't be the first and the last. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Lefevue. Next up, County,
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I think we overlooked the gentleman that wanted to speak.
oh, did we?
Yeah, he stood up.
Oh, I'm sorry, come on over. Come on. Didn't see him.
Been called up in the news.
I'm Tabe Assistant at 105 Mossy Creek Drive. I just wanted to share just a little bit about the LGBTQ club and just something to think about. Generally speaking, when we do an activity after school at schools, it's something drawing those kids together, right? Like if they're on a basketball team, they're there to learn how to dribble, shoot the ball, come together, be a basketball team, learn about basketball. If you're a drama club, you're learning how to act. Everybody's involved in what that topic is, whatever that after-school activity is. And I think that there may be a tendency maybe to see a little bigotry or something along those lines, but the idea is the fact that the only thing bringing kids together at an LGBTQ club is sex. And the problem is introducing sex at this level of education. I think parents would be up in arms if they started a heterosexual club, all about having heterosexual sex and all the things that that brings together with people. They'd have just as much problem. And I just wanted to bring that up, that's all.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
I'm sort of like Commissioner Hester. I think at the school board meetings, they have this same ability to speak.
Yes, sir.
And it seems to me like that's really the platform where you should be, because obviously it's becoming a community issue. And I would urge you to go to the school board meeting and speak to their 3 minutes as you are here, because those are the folks that really have the opportunity to do something for you. We really can't, other than support you, we can't really do much. That's where you really need to get your voices heard.
I understand, and I think that just like some of the other people that come up here and speak, and just let you all know what's going on in the county, so that the board that's controlling it just is kind of aware of what, I think that's what it is.
That's great.
And your meeting this month just happened to be before the school board.
That's great. If it's roads, we can do something, but with that, But thank you for making us aware.
Thank you, sir.
Squeaky. Squeaky wheel always gets the grease. Keep being squeaky.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, county executives report, Mr. Woody.
Mr. Chairman, I have no report this month. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before we get into special orders, at your seat, there is a resolution I would like to ask us to waive 12-day rule on. It's entitled a resolution naming an alternate chairperson pro tempore. I ask that this be drawn up, and the reason is, obviously, Commissioner Moore, or Chairman Moore, is still under the weather, and and I'm glad to serve as Chairman Pro Tem in his stead, but if for some reason I was unable to make a meeting, we don't really have anyone else to hand it off to except the court clerk. And I think it would be prudent for us to have an alternate Chairman Pro Tem that would step up if I were unable to be here or wanted to step down to discuss a resolution, for example. So I would like to ask that the 12-day rule be waived on this particular resolution, and it be placed at the end of our agenda, and if so, it'd be resolution number 11-21-18.
Make a motion.
We have a motion by David. You
I say Hester.
okay?
Bell.
Okay.
Again.
Who made the motion?
I was quick. I make.
Okay. Mr. Hester and Mr. Gann. Any discussions, questions?
Or you want them to speak first?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
No comment, sir.
Yeah.
No
Got
comment.
ahead of myself. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nephew, I think right now the pecking order is that we have a chairman, pro tem, and then it would refer to the county clerk would be the next in line. Is that correct?
I don't know, I'll have to look into it, I don't know the answer.
I know one year clerk had to start our first meeting as new commissioners because we didn't have that. And the only reason I'm asking is I don't know if that's the order that's been the line somewhere along the line or what. I just know the clerk has always filled in, and if that is, then fine. If it's not, then we can do this.
Okay, I don't know the answer to that, I would have to research it. I didn't find anything in the statutes that says that the clerk fills in. But I can research that if you would like.
No, it's just a point of order. I didn't, like I say, I didn't know if that's Robert's rules puts the clerk as the next as the first body outside of this that would fill in.
Robert's rules allows you to have a chairman and a first alternate chairman and a second alternate chairman or so on and so forth. You can create
That's fine.
within the body whatever you need to.
That's fine. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions? I guess on this, Amber, did you call the roll on it?
Yes. Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Rushiers? Cunningham?
Yes.
East? Gann?
Yes.
Hendrickson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Ferguson?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, that passed. The 12-day rule has been waived on this and replaced at the end of our agenda. Next up is zoning resolution. First resolution is number 11-21-01Z. Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
skipped the special orders.
Oh, good grief. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to special orders. Okay. Special order number 1 is confirmation of appointment of Julian Bailey to the Monroe County Library Board. The new term will expire June 30th of 2024.
Executive.
I don't want him to speak, but he's got to speak.
Executive report. Executive.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Hooks, second by Commissioner Hester. Commissioner Hooks.
Nothing no more than I appreciate their willingness to serve on these committees, and I'm sure that do an outstanding job.
Thank you. Commissioner Hester.
No comment.
Anyone else? Okay, cast your vote. That passes. Julian Bailey is named to the Roane County Library Board. Second, a special order is confirmation and reappointment of the following individuals to the E911 Board. Number 1, Tim Suter, Ambulance Service Director, term expiration 12/31/25. Number 2, Tony Brown, Kingston Representative, term expiration 12/31/24. And number 3, Keith Farmer, Fire Board Representative, term expiration 12/31/24.
So moved.
And we have a motion by Hooks, second by Hendrickson. Mr. Hooks.
Mr. Chairman, I've been the retired Executive Director for 911. I've had the opportunity to serve many years with Mr. Suter, Mr. Brown, in that capacity, and Keith Farmer I have known for many, many years, and those would be 3 outstanding individuals. I have nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Henderson.
Mr. Hook said it all. Thank you.
Anyone else? You ready to vote?
We'll have to do a voice vote on this.
Okay, let's
second
do
special order.
Ms. Blakey, can we vote on all 3 of these in one vote?
Yes, you can.
Okay, let's do a voice vote on this, please, Amber.
Bell,
Aye.
Berry,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
East,
Yes.
Gann,
Yes.
Hendrickson,
Yes.
Hester,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Hooks,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes. They are reappointed. Next up, zoning resolutions. First, resolution number 11-21-01Z. Resolution of the Roane County Planning Commission recommending action by the County Legislative Commission on a resolution amending Roane County zoning map as requested by Steve Earl Woodby to rezone map 117 parcel 056.00 from A2 developing agricultural to C1 general commercial. We have a motion by Commissioner Gann, second by Commissioner Hester. Commissioner Gann.
I defer to Mr. Cofer. I believe he stated this gentleman wanted to wait to do this, but would you like to explain?
No, this is the one
Oh,
that
this is-
they want to continue with.
I apologize.
This is a piece of property right as you go down River Road, right into the next county over. It's the old Smithy Body Shop property. It comes with a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission to be rezoned.
That's 58 on River Road, right?
Yeah, 58, sorry.
Mr. Hester.
No comment.
Anyone else?
Is this the floor man, Steve Wood?
No, he's the mushroom pallet guy.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else? Okay, let's cast our votes. That is approved. Now, it's my understanding that resolution number 11-21-02Z is being postponed at the owner's request. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that is
So it will
correct.
be on the December agenda? you think?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Leffey, do we have to have a motion to postpone this?
It would probably be a good idea.
Motion.
We have a motion from
Second, Wilson.
Hooks and then Wilson.
No, Junior.
Henderson and then Wilson. So, can we vote on it?
We've got a motion, a second made.
Okay, let's go ahead and cast our votes.
Yes.
On postponement.
Yes.
Okay.
On postponement. It's noted in the system.
Okay. that it passes, it's postponed to next month. Now we're starting on new business. Our IT people have asked that I make this announcement. If anyone wants to amend a resolution, please push your amend key on our login, and then that will enable Amber to continue with the resolution and allow us to vote without going to a voice vote, correct? Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Okay, so if you want to amend a resolution, just click on amend, okay? All right, next item, resolution 11-21-01, a resolution authorizing the abandonment of a section of Old Elberton Road located in the 2nd Civil District as shown in the attached map, starting at the right property line for map 019B, Group 8, Parcel 1, and ending at the end of the paved portion of Old Elberton Road, approximately 1,800 of a mile north at the intersection of right-of-way shown as Lake Drive. We had a motion by...
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I need to postpone this till the next meeting. I need to verify that all of the adjoining property owners were notified, and I wasn't able to get that done.
Okay. So, Mr. Gann, would you have your motion be for postponing that, and Mr. Bell, would you? Sure. Second, okay, so that would be the motion and second for the postponement on this, okay? And now we're ready to vote on the postponement. Okay, that is postponed to the next month's meeting. Okay, next up is resolution number 11-21-02, a resolution authorizing the abandonment of a section of right-of-way off Hughes Tail Lane located in the 1st Civil District as shown on the attached map, starting at the right property line for map 046, parcel 118, and ending at Westwood Drive. We have a motion by Commissioner Ferguson, second by Commissioner Wilson. Commissioner Ferguson.
This was brought to the planning commission, and this got the full planning commission to do it. Julian can explain any more if you need.
It's also been before the road committee and have full support.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Wilson.
All right.
Anyone else? All right. Let's vote. That's approved. Now to resolution 11-21-03, a resolution authorizing the abandonment of Lee Armour Road and all associated right-of-ways located in the 5th Civil District of Roane County off Post Oak Road as shown on the attached map. We have a motion by Commissioner Barrett, second by Commissioner Hoods. Commissioner Barrett.
Yeah, I think this is more of a long driveway than it is a road, but I would yield. I'm sure it's gone to the road committee and
It has. It is a county road, and it's been before road committee fully supported it, so the planning commission.
But it's more of a driveway.
That's what it's going to end up being. They'd like to put a gate on it for security back through there.
Yeah, I've seen that road. It's very, very narrow.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Hoods.
Nothing further.
Anyone else? Okay, let's vote on this resolution. That passes.
Thank you, gentlemen. I guarantee you the two young ladies that live at the end of that road really appreciate you.
Okay, resolution 11-21-04, a resolution authorizing the county executive to execute a 2-year agreement with Career Cart DBA Career Step LLC for the purpose of providing on-demand training programs for the ambulance department. We have a motion by Commissioner Hester, second by Commissioner Hooks. Commissioner Hester.
I'll yield to the county executive if he's got anything on it.
Nothing further to add on this. This is just a training that they have to do that allows them to do it online.
Commissioner Hooks.
Nothing further.
Anyone else? Let's vote on the resolution. Ms. Reeves. Okay, that passes. We've been asked to have a 5-minute recess. Okay, next up is a resolution to adopt a redistricting plan for Roane County, Tennessee. Okay. Are these current motions?
Yes, somebody's.
Okay, so we have a motion by Hester and a second by Hooks. Mr. Hester?
Well, we're required by law, so I said that on there. But it changed the South River map as well. So.
Yeah. Ms. Hooks?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met. Charles, you and your people did an outstanding job. Mr. Woody did an outstanding job. And and East Roane County grew, so they took away from me because I grew. But we come to an understanding that they did a good job, and I'll yield to our county executive if he has any comments.
Mr. Woody?
Yeah, back on the comment I have at this juncture is we do have, the resolution that was filed was a kind of a boilerplate template that was given to us by the state. So on your desk there is an amendment that fills in the blanks, references the minutes, and also references the Exhibit A, which is the map. So, Mr. Chairman, I think it would be appropriate this time to have a motion and a motion and a second to do the amendment.
Well, how about if Mr. Hester will accept the...
I'll accept it.
You'll accept the amendment, Mr. Hooks will as well, okay.
Yes.
Is that okay with our counselor?
Okay, so we now have a resolution, an amended resolution before us that has a motion and a second. Any other? Yes, sir.
Mr. Holloway, can you just share with us on this map? Can you share with us where the differentiation is on where we are and the proposed? I mean, are there any boundaries like District 1? Are we pretty much the same?
Well, if you looked in your minutes, you noticed that there was a deviation. We have to have a deviation less than 10.
Right.
And if you look in your minutes, the original map, which is
Oh, we're going big time now. NBC News over here.
He used to be a weatherman.
Mr. Woody, while he's doing that, let me ask you a question. So this will be given to the voting commission, and the populations will change. For years, I've voted 4,984 residents in my district. So that vote count will change as well, correct?
The redistricting is of course based upon citizens, not necessarily voting
Right,
system.
yeah.
So it's going to change the number of people who vote. Part of it because the districts changed, and part of it just because the demographics have changed. Does that make sense? So
Well, if I lost Cherokee, I may have lost 150 votes.
I was thinking there's about 700 citizens maybe in there too. Yeah.
now that's the original map as when we received, that's where it was the last 10 years. And like I said, you notice in your deviations on the original map, it goes from, the new numbers goes from minus 8.82 for Harriman to 8.50 for Kingston, so that's a 17.32 deviation, and we have to be less than 10. So to start with, what we did was Phil and GIS, he went and redrew all the lines as much as possible by the waterways. And then we seen to see what we had. And then we adjusted it from that to come up with the map we have tonight. Now the biggest thing that people have talked to me about in the last 10 years is the fact that Cherokee is south of the river. And they would like, the people there would like for us to see if there's any possibility to put them back into the Kingston area. And so that was the thing that we worked from that particular point. And if you took Cherokee out of the south of the river, you'd have a negative 7.61 deviation because of the loss of these people. But yet they're still within, with the 10, they're still within the area to...
That's the map. The map.
Anyway, with less than 10, it's acceptable by the state. So we took out Cherokee and worked from there and left south of the river the way it was.
X.
Now.
X.
Then it's best just to look at each one of the districts because the large map, it's very hard to see like you've got on your desk. So we'll start with District 1. And this is District 1. And what we did, the new red line is the new, would be the new boundary line for that district. And that's Dry Hill. So the only thing we did to District 1 was add these census blocks here, which is part of Dry Hill, which was in Harriman originally. So that would come out of the Harriman district and move into the district of Rockwood, and that would give them 10,670, a population of 10,674. Ideal is 10,680, because everybody, for each commissioner, they should represent 3,560 people, according to the new census numbers that was given to us. So if you look at your deviation, Rockwood is just right on it. They're just minus 0.06. So District 2 is Harriman. Harriman originally was minus 8.5 deviation. So we had to give them quite a few people to bring them within the deviation. So what we did is we took, this is from Duncan Hollow Road all the way down to Roane County Park, and moved that into the Midtown area of Harriman. And then we added this area right here, which is in the city limits, and this is already in the area we took. So that was the changes that we made in Harriman, and that gave them 10,834, and they're 1.43 plus on the deviation.
And what part of Harriman was that top one?
Right up here,
Yeah.
this is going out Highway 29.
27.
27. All right. Any questions there? I ain't got the touch.
Yeah, you do.
All right, this is District 3 in Dillis and Emory Heights, or Emory area. And we moved the line, we gave part of Dillis originally back to Harriman, so the new line along the waterfront. And to give them enough people, we took out some census blocks going out Highway 61 and moved them from, I think it's Oliver Springs or Cave Creek, or Orchard View area. So to give them the number of 3,604. And then for District 4, what we did with District 4 is they were already below. We gave them the preserve here because they were all, the preserve is in the city of Oak Ridge. And so when we voted those people, we had city of Oak Ridge people voting in the Lawnsville area, so we felt like we just put all of that into the Oak Hills area, and
Wow.
that would,
Wow. The new money, that's big.
So that gives them 7,212?
yeah. And ideally, they would have needed 7,120. So,
Now-
you know, they're just 100 more than they normally would.
So Oak Hills was already large, right?
No, they were in a negative if you look in your notes. Oak Hills was a minus 4.27. So they lost people.
But in terms of precincts, Oak Hills was one of our big ones, right?
It's a pretty good size precinct.
4 or 5.
And so, I guess now as the preserve grows, if they're building 300 homes a year in the preserve, by the next census, then that's going to really be a big number.
Right.
Deal?
District 5, and this is where we made Mike's district. They were already a plus. 5.64. So he had to give up some people. So what we did here was we moved the precinct from the Cave Creek Community Center here down to New Midway Baptist Church. And these people here on the end of New Midway Baptist Church, they were a half a mile to a mile from the precinct, and they were having to drive by it and to drive to Lawnsville. They were in the Lawnsville area to vote. So what we did here was took these people that were right at the precinct and moved them into the 5th, and then we took out the people that's on the other side of Buttermilk Road, on the Lawnsville side of Buttermilk Road, and moved them into the Lawnsville district, and that includes all those people, and there's a couple of subdivisions on the other side of the industrial park, and all that comes into the Kingston district, and that was the move we made there. And Kingston ended up with plus 1.77. Now, any of you people that has your district, why, you have questions, you need, or want changes, you'll have to tell us, because we don't know. This is the new district for Kingston, all the new red lines, and you can see that it takes Cherokee in, and what we'll do there is in the election office, part of these people voted at the courthouse, some of them will be voting at the Longville precinct. And then these people over here that we said was the other side of the interstate on Buttermilk Road, they'll vote in the Longville area. And of course, Longville lost these people that were in the preserve, so that balances out for them. Any questions, Mr. Bell?
I don't think losing the preserve balances out. It's our most booming thing in Roane County.
But as far as, we're not, right now, we have to go with what you got in
I understand.
2020 and not what you're gonna have in 2030. We've got to go with that. We can't project.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's our biggest growing area. It's just a heartburn for me because, and that's where I was raised. You know, I spent, even before there was the first thing of anything there, that's where I was running around camping, the government area, and now to see it develop the way it's developed, and you know, Kingston's going to benefit from that. Then all of a sudden, Kingston gets cut out and it goes to the Oak Ridge area. It's just heartburn for me. That's the end of the day. That's all I can say about it. I don't like it. So, that's all. It wasn't a question. Just a snide remark.
Yeah. Well, I'll make one. Y'all need to keep Oak Ridge City from coming over.
I hear you.
And taking
I was
it
too
over
young.
before,
Then.
you know.
I was too young. I was too young. Clayton, I was too young.
And Charlotte's not saying a thing.
No, she loved
Tell Charlie, still don't care.
it. Who'd you say who chaired this meeting?
Jerry White.
Very wide.
Yeah, that's his district, right?
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, it is.
After he didn't say nothing about giving up over.
I know exactly what went on.
Dealings.
Yeah, but those are bad, those are good people there.
Oh, they are. They're great.
Gerald, thanks for the information. Anybody else have any other questions or comments? Junior?
Yeah, only other than south of the river, and that's just the same as it is.
Can we go back to district?
Two.
All right. So going out 27, does that include Webster Pike and all that on the hill? On the right side of the road?
No, Woods Chapel area? No. That's Dillon's area.
That's the
Well, Charlie, the Harriman, who you got it marked there, is it going to stay the same? We already go on the left-hand side of the road all the way to the Morton County line. We're pretty close there, and the second.
But it's about the same as it was, you know.
Okay. Now, what did we pick up again?
You picked up all of that down your way,
Okay.
all the way down to Roane County Park, Bowman Bend Road and around all through there,
Okay.
all the way from Duncan Hall Road on down.
West Shores, is that county?
No,
Okay.
get to West Shore.
Okay, where back did it start at Bone, or you said go all the way down, so it starts at the end of the bridge, right?
Yeah,
Goes all the way around the circle.
yeah.
Okay, how far does that go to the circle, all the way up to, when you cross the little part of the river down there?
Here,
Yeah, you know, if you come all the way around Bowman's Bend, you know, right there, you come down the hill, you know, where the water stacks up around the little.
yeah, that goes by the lake there, all the way around that area down there by the lake.
Okay, but you're talking about Duncan Hall, does that go all, you're talking about going all the way to Bluff Road, back, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay, so-
but up at the very top up there on top of the hill, yeah, that'll stay in Kingston.
Okay, what about the other side there, one that Duncan Hall, like Kingston Heights and all that, does it count, or is it just straight on Duncan Hall Road?
The road that goes up the, Skyline View is the road that comes across the top. Everybody coming down the hill on the right is in your area, and everybody on the left will be in Kingston.
So coming down towards my house, everybody on the right-hand side of the road. Now, does that go up Skyline, come out on the Bluff Road before it makes the circle, that, what they call that, Kingston Heights? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
You know, when you turn on Bluff Road, you go up there about a quarter of a mile, and then turn right.
it don't go all the way over. You know, part of Kingston Heights stays in Kingston, yeah. all the way over to all West Shore. You come down Bluff Road, everything to the right from where you turn up on Skyline.
Okay, turning off the highway,
Yeah.
turn up everything on the right,
Yeah,
all the way down to my house and
all the way down to your house. I tried to get your house out.
You didn't concede, I said.
Okay, anybody else have any other questions or
Any
comments?
other questions?
Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Let's cast a vote. Okay, amendment. Can't keep up with it.
We got the
I got it.
The motion, she needs to clear over.
motion is to accept those.
Mr. Berry, you have something? You have a request to speak? Okay. Amber, we ready?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Let's cast a vote.
Mr. Chairman, this does include amendment.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that did pass. That is accepted. Next up is Resolution 11-21-06, a resolution abolishing the ad hoc American Rescue Plan Committee. We have a motion by Commissioner Hester. We have a second by Commissioner Hood. Commissioner Hester.
I think there's going to be some debate on it, so I'll just make the motion, get it out there and debate it.
Okay. Mr. Hood.
Same comment.
Mr. Gann.
Yeah, so I made this resolution. This was something that was brought up, I think a couple of months ago. One of our commissioners suggested that due to the importance of this, we should do all this through a workshop. I supported it at that time, and I still feel like it's the best way of doing it. I believe that we need to be able to be together on this, and I understand the committee. So I have spoke with some of the fellow commissioners, and I know there's going to be an amendment on it, and I support the amendments, but I still do feel like this is important to it's not our money, it's the community. And I think that every commissioner here represents each community of this county. And I think that we need to fully be engaged. I think that even if we have a committee, this is a very important committee. I mean, we have some wonderful committees. Everyone on this commission here has wonderful committees. But this is really important. We have a one-time opportunity to do something for this county and make some decisions to make an investment worthy. And I think that we need to be together. I don't think we need to have arguments. I don't think we need to have dissension. I think that we need to come together and be together on it. And I still feel like a workshop is the best way to go. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's how I feel. But I will fully support an amendment to this. So that's pretty much all I got to say on it.
Thank you. Mr. Berry.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Chairman. Charlotte, do you have an amendment?
I do, and I keep hitting amend and it won't take it.
I have
Well,
to,
she has to
I control that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, So I've got the floor.
You have the floor.
I've served on this commission a long time. This is probably the most disappointing resolution that I've ever seen. We've never had a committee, as long as I know, in this commission that's ever been abolished. We've still got ad hoc committees on the books that haven't met for years. This isn't important. That's why the committee was appointed. We had a meeting the other night, and our county executive informed us that there was going to be a resolution to abolish this committee, and that he helped write it. No, that's what you told us. You said you helped write the resolution. And you, wait a minute, now, Mr. Woody, I've got the floor.
But let's tell the truth.
I'm telling the truth. And
We were asked.
Mr.
to
Chairman,
write-
point of order.
We were asked,
Mr. Woody, Mr. Berry has the floor.
we were asked to
He
write
has,
the
and he writes resolutions all the time.
for commissioners.
But I've never heard him say, I helped write it in the committee. My point is, all of this started, this ad hoc committee has no power. No power. It started that, and I think what happened was, there were some commissioners who thought that we were going to bypass the budget committee. Well, you can't bypass the budget committee. Mr. Gann, if you saw the stack of papers that we had before us the other night, and you think that a workshop can get all of that work done, we don't have a lot of success with workshops and coming out. We've had several with the schools, we've had several with others. But this, as far as I'm concerned, this has shattered this commission right down the middle. We could have gone about this a lot of different ways rather than putting a resolution in to abolish probably the most important committee that we would have. We've got $10 million to disperse. Well, we don't have that now. We've got that. But we've dispersed a lot of that money sitting at this table the night that we've been given resolutions. I think we might have had some different changes of opinion if we had time to really look into it. This committee has no power. All we're to do is to bring back to this body and the budget committee recommendations of priorities on how we've judged them as we go. We've got about $8.6 million coming from TDEC for water and sewer projects. We've got broadband money coming. We don't know what else coming. But we don't need to be hasteful about it. We've got $772,000 right now of lost revenue for this year. January we get another round, and it's estimated to be about $800,000 next year. That's $1.5 million that's unrestricted. Senate Bill 3011, if it gets approved, most everything we have is going to be non-restrictive. So we just need to take our time, but this committee, guys, it has no power, and I'm really disappointed that a resolution came before us asking to abolish this committee when all we had to do was to look at what the committee was really set up to do, and we probably don't have all of this confusion and dissension, but it's here. And I guess, again, Mr. Woody writes a lot of resolutions, but I've never heard him say in the committee that I helped write it. And that's all I said, Mr. Woody. We told the truth on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And Mr. Bell.
I guess that I didn't read it too much earlier. I've been a little heated over it. But
Mr. Chairman, point.
the best thing I can think of,
Mr. Bell, hold on a second. Yes, sir.
And I guess this is Mr. Lepew's question, but if we have someone's trying to offer up an amendment and electronics is not allowing that to happen, does the amendment take precedence?
Well, first of all, somebody's gonna have to get the floor to offer an amendment. Are you not able to get the floor?
Put in a request to speak.
Yeah, you need to put in a request to speak, and then we'll go in the order of that.
Get back to Mr. Bell.
Yeah, it's clouded up some more. So, my opinion's gonna stand with a man that's been vacant from that seat right over there because he's got a life-threatening illness. And that man stood up here struggling with that life-threatening illness and made that ad hoc committee because he truly wanted that ad hoc committee. And then we're going to turn around here when he's down on his luck and trying to do better and abolish what he put up there. Golly, man, we need to wake up, folks. This petty stuff across this little floor right here is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And this ain't really the best night for me to do it. I just buried one of my ex-wrestlers, what I would call a war hero. That's reality at the end of the day, and we're wanting to pity pot about who's got the biggest pride in here and try to abolish this, that, or the other. At the end of the day, the chairman that got elected right up there wanted it. Let it stand. It can't hurt nobody. But you get a little bit of money involved, people start squirming, and they start throwing everything at it, and then we're at odds now. This commission is upside down. It's ridiculous. Pride-filled, upside-down commission is what we got. It is absolutely ridiculous. That's all I got to say.
Okay, Mr. Hester. Thank you. Looks like.
Yeah. When we set up an ad hoc committee or any subcommittee, and by the way, I'm chairman of that committee, the guidelines were not raised or put out there. What do we do? If it's spending money, we can spend $6 million left. So I mean, we can spend money, but we need to prioritize our spending and get the most bang out of our buck. And I agree that would be coming back to the full commission for vote. But I don't like the adversarial relationship that we set with the county officials already. I'm not for that, guys. It is, we use abrasive tones and everything else, accuse them of giving money away and everything else. I'm not for that one bit. If we work out an amendment to this, or whatever, we need to have them as part of that committee as well. As I said before, Shannon Hester's a part-time employee for this. I work 60, 70 hours a week. But you've got people that's dedicated days, every day, to putting that package together and making sure that whatever we spend that on can be passed through the comptroller's office. So I'll yield to Charlotte for her.
I think we got next up, Mr. Ferguson, and we'll come to Ms. Cunningham.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to say I'm on that committee, and I'm for keeping, I agree with Commissioner Bale and Commissioner Berry on that. But if we're going to do away with that committee, let's just do away with miles. And then that way we won't have no confusion. Ain't no need nobody getting mad. But if the taxpayers know how much money it's costing them for us to have these committees, I'd say this room would be full over here. So if we're going to do away, let's just do away with the committees. And that way there, they come for the county commission. That way it'll stop the money and everything. We don't have to worry about it. So that's all.
Is that an amendment?
Okay, Ms. Cunningham.
I'm ready.
I would like to propose an amendment not to abolish the committee, but to actually define what the role of the committee is, because that never really got done in the beginning. There are several things that have come through there that, as Mr. Woody or has been proposed to all of us, are considered primary government. And those are the things that have gone to the budget committee and then they came to us. There is several projects that have been requesting money, and it's TDEC's opinion that we need to collaborate with the utilities, we need to collaborate with the municipalities and decide in that way how we spend the money, who's going to spend what month from each section, because we all got a pot of money. And I think that the committee is a good idea, but I think we should define it by saying we are the body, the group that would go and meet with those municipalities and with the utilities and discuss the projects and discuss how they feel they should put the order in, the utilities, rather than us saying we want a particular sewer project or we want a particular water project. I think the utilities, and they've made it very clear that they agree with that they would like to talk to us before we make decisions on the next projects that they work on. And so my amendment would be to keep the committee, but the definition of it be to work with the municipalities and the utilities, just the 5 of us on that committee rather than all 15 of us, because like we know that when we have big workshops, it just kind of all gets buried in the mud. It turns out we don't get a lot accomplished. And then we can bring those discussions back to the commission, just like any committee does, and make recommendations on the projects as we've discussed together, and collaborate on these to make the best use of all of our money.
Okay, so your amendment would be to define the purpose of the committee, which you are saying is to work with municipalities and utilities regarding potential requests.
Yes, to prioritize projects along with them and the amounts of money that go towards that.
And then bring those
to the commission.
Bring those back to the commission, budget committee, commission,
And budget committee.
whatever the case may be. Okay, Amber, did you get that? Mr. Lefevre, would we vote on the amendment first unless the person who made the motion and the one who, the other who made the second?
Right. First of all, you need a second for her amendment.
Oh, that's right, I do.
You're going to have to vote.
Okay, so we have a motion on
whether
the floor,
to amend it.
and we, Mr. Berry, did you second her?
I did.
Okay, so we do have the second now.
Okay.
Okay, so let's vote on the amendment.
Vote on whether to
Speaking of
amend.
Okay, vote on whether to amend.
Could we speak to that amendment though first, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Are you through?
Yeah.
That's right.
And I guess the amendment, just to be sure that we're clear, is not just, we wouldn't meet just with the utilities. We would take all of the proposals that we've been offered, go through all of those, prioritize those, and bring all of those back to the commission, right? Not just the utilities, all the requests that have been made of us.
Well, I think it should be personally, I think it should be all the ones that are not described as primary government, because those are the ones that have already been put up, and then they go to the budget committee, the ones that we've already worked on. We've already voted on several of those. And if you wanted to have a workshop, if you felt like that would be a good idea to have a workshop, that's fine. But I just don't want to take away all of what we do. I think we have some really important work to do.
I agree, and we've done, some of those have already been done. The only disadvantage to that would be if we're just looking at the government part of it, we probably don't have any left over to look at anything else. It's.
Well, there were several of them in there that.
I just think we don't need to separate the utilities from all of the other requests. I think we've got plenty, and we would prioritize them and then bring them back. And if the commission wants to change those priorities, then they can do that after we've looked at those to see.
Well, I just feel like a lot of it has to do with, I think we need to slow down. We've got a lot of time.
I don't
A whole lot of time.
disagree with that, but I'm just
Throw the
saying.
money here, throw the money there, and so, and a lot of that was, the ARP money was specifically for the utilities, the infrastructure, and for broadband, and that was what the federal government said. That's a big part of it. So I think if we start with that,
Good. But I guess would you accept it as part of
Because
your
I don't want to
motion?
spend all our money on a bunch of other stuff when we've got some important infrastructure.
I agree, and so would you include in your amendment that we would look at all of the proposed projects, prioritize those, and bring those back to the commission?
After the utilities.
Excuse me?
I would prioritize the utilities, because I just don't want to see us spending a bunch of money. I think everything ought to hold off for a little bit.
Okay.
I really do.
But
And
given the
start
fact
with
though
those.
that with utilities, we're also going to be looking at the 8.6 million from TDEC to look at that, so that wouldn't be all of our money.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying if we could just look at all the projects, bring them back, and then we go through them, is a way to get back to the commission with everything that we have. The utilities being part of that.
Well, I just think that's the best place to start.
I agree.
And I'm afraid if we just say, well, we're going to just start prioritizing everything, that before you know it, we're just going to be right back to where we were. And it just seemed to be the animosity that we've all talked about. It just is. I'm just trying to think of a way that we could just kind of slow things down and do a specific job.
Well, and I guess that's where I'm lost. That's what we would be doing. By prioritizing them, we would be bringing them back, and then the commission can do with them whatever, but then we will have had an opportunity to weigh the different projects. They come back, they can change them, they may change them all. But at least we will have seen then how much the utilities are getting from TDEC, how much they're getting, and if this Senate bill passes, then that's another game changer. So I'm just saying, I think if we could do that, I think we're saying the same thing. It's just other than utilities, it's going to be the total projects.
I just think that the primary government projects are the primary government projects, just like they were to start with. And if we feel that as a group we need to have a workshop, I just feel like our group should be or this committee should be the ones that go and actually do the negotiations, if you will, have the discussions. And I know you agree, but I don't want to say that, because if we take out and we say, okay, yeah, we're going to do everything, well, then I'm afraid what's going to happen is we're going to go right back to where we were, and we're going to be going back to that list, rather than just holding off a little while.
So Commissioner Cunningham, right now you're saying you do not want to amend your resolution, amend your amendment. You want to keep it as it originally was stated? Okay.
And how was that stated? I'm lost.
We've got another amendment made by Commissioner Hester.
What I've been trying to speak to I guess when you hit the amend button, or if you spoke once, you let me.
Amend keeps the request to speak from functioning.
Does it? Good enough.
Well, Bell has a request to speak though. His work.
It was up before.
It was up before.
The amendment was before his request.
So
Okay, well, let me get with Commissioner Bell, since he has a request to speak, and I'll come back to you. Then, David, you have something you want to add?
Yeah, generally in the committees that I've always been a part of, which I've slacked off of them the past couple of years, you get together, you form your vision, you write it on a piece of paper, and that's sort of the outline of what you stand in. When we met on our first ad hoc committee, it's like we come in here in a whirlwind. I feel like by design we had a huge pamphlet in front of us to digest within a couple hours, which wasn't going to happen. We had you via Zoom. Everything wasn't sitting here. We did the best we could with that first initial meeting, getting to know everybody. Didn't come up with a plan, but we did come up to have another ad hoc committee pretty quickly so we could develop a plan exactly what we was going to do. We handled the people that was in there, the onlookers and the people with their hands out. Nothing bad intended there. That's what it's for. And then we were ready for the next meeting, and it never happened. So we never did lay down our rules and regulations of what our committee's going to do.
And I think that's what we're sort of arguing here is what do we stand for? What are we looking to do? I mean, the committee will take care of itself if you leave it alone. The next meeting we sit down at, we'll come up with our rules and regulations or our mission statement, whatever you want to call that, and we'll move forward. And we'll hash it out and we'll work with all parties that be, and it'll just be another fail-safe to keep it slow. The reason it all sped up is because how much money have we already spent of it?
$6 million
So you say slow down, but we've already donated $6 million.
remains.
Right. So $4 million. So there wasn't, at that point, there wasn't any time to slow down, so we better get the brakes on is what the mentality is. And now it's sort of slowed down, you know, but it's got all political and everybody's got their dander up. At the end of the day, if we'll just let the ad hoc committee work like the chairman wanted it to work, it'll work out just fine. We've already wasted a lot of time. That's where I stand. No amendment.
Okay. Mr. Haskell.
All right, well, I do like Charlotte's thinking on that as well. But I would submit to this body right now, is it possible to increase the staffing on that committee to 7? One of them be from the budget committee.
You need to deal with the First Amendment before you amend it again.
Okay, so we need to vote it up or down, and then come back.
You need to finish your debate on the First Amendment.
Okay.
And then consider additional amendments after that.
Okay, any other debate on amendment number 1?
Would you read that amendment?
It's to define the role of the committee, the First Amendment.
Well, the way I've got it is work with municipalities and utilities regarding their requests.
Only.
Well,
Just-
only, because you
Start.
did.
Okay.
Okay.
You have to amend it again.
But one verb in there should be not to abolish. Should it be in that amendment?
Right.
Okay, let's add not to abolish. It's not to abolish the
Copy
community.
the first resolution. If you're not gonna honor the first resolution and amend it,
Right,
you've got to be negative to that.
gotcha. You're correct. So, would it be fair to say that your amendment says do not abolish the committee?
Yeah, that'd be fair.
Do not abolish the committee, but
But define the role.
define the role.
Like David said, we need to sit down and
Mr. Chairman,
define it.
Charlotte's first statement exactly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charlotte, was she would like to define the role of the committee instead of abolishing it.
Correct.
That was what her first amendment was before all the discussion started.
Okay, Greg, would that be the amendment? Is that what your intent of the amendment?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
to define,
Define the role.
nothing more?
Correct.
Nothing more?
Nothing more. That's the way you want to do it? Yes.
But the intent is to define it as the committee is to work with utilities and municipalities. Is that?
That's what I would like to see happen, but like David said, we need to sit down and make that determination. That's what I'll be pushing for, and that's the way I look at it.
So, okay,
Is I want to start with that, I want to slow things down and make that the priority of the committee, and then move from there.
okay, can I have just a minute to make sure I understand what's going on? So, is your motion just to amend it to define the committee, but allow the committee to define itself? Is that what your motion is?
Yeah.
Just do it to the committee and let us come up with it. We have a problem, come back to it.
Okay, so will
Actually, we wouldn't do nothing.
will that definition come back to county commission for approval? Because basically, you're a committee that is created by county commission, so county commission, the entire body needs to specify the purposes of the committee and what.
That'd be approved in the minutes, correct?
I just know, I just recall a committee being appointed. I don't recall any specific instructions given to that committee.
That's exactly right. The committee was appointed and with no guidance.
Okay.
And now Charlotte's I want to hear the committee,
Yeah, before we
or
just
the committee
do away with
to define their own purpose. But unlike you, I think that purpose would have to be final approved by the committee, by the commission that created it.
Yes, the commission that created it is going to have to define define what the purposes of the committee are.
But they can come to us with what they see their role is. They can come up with their definition and for our approval.
You can, as a body, you can modify this committee and make it right now have the authority to make a recommendation as to what the committee should do. So you're basically creating a two-step process. And while they're defining what they are going to do, subject to your approval, they wouldn't be allowed to prioritize these projects.
Until we accept their...
Until you as a body tell them what their role is.
If they come to us with what they see the definition to be, and let's say we approve that, then
Yes.
Okay.
It would be approved in a minute, correct?
Well, no, I think the way I'm understanding Mr. Matthew is your committee would define itself, but your role, but it still would have to come back to us.
Can I make a friendly amendment to that?
For final approval.
Okay, you've got the motion and the second.
Can I make it simple?
Yeah.
Let's make it simple.
Okay.
Go back to the original motion.
Okay, let's go back.
It's
Okay.
either yes or no.
So you're going to withdraw your...
But the amendment will be that we are able to define our roles. Well, no amendment.
Okay, so...
Let's do no amendment.
Okay, so you're going to pull your amendment.
Pull the amendment.
Okay, you're going to pull your amendment,
Yes or no?
Mr. Beveridge, you pull your second on that, and vote either up or down on the ARPA committee, ad hoc committee. They ain't even want to.
I'm trying to speak in on that.
Well, we ain't got to deal with what's on here right now.
Okay, so right now your main motion is back.
We're back to the original resolution, which was a resolution abolishing the ad hoc rescue plan committee. She's withdrawn her amendment, and looks like the second's been withdrawn. Now, Mr. Wilson wants to... Okay.
Yeah, okay. Can I make a statement? We have moved forward past the original, that original amendment has been changed.
The amendment's
So
gone.
we'll have to reword it in the system to show back to the original if that's what we're doing.
You're right. Right now, we're dealing back to the original resolution, but we got Mr. Wilson that's possibly wants to do...
Okay, Mr. Hester, you still have it?
No, wait a minute, we do have Mr. Hester too.
Yes, you do.
All right, right now, does Mr. Bell still have the floor?
I relinquished the floor.
Okay.
About 4 times. Yeah, So who's got the floor? Hoops or Wilson? Bell doesn't want the floor. So it's Mr. Wilson.
All I was trying to do, I'm going to try to help simplify this because we all seem to be going down the middle and this is really kind of going nowhere. So this is, if I may, correct me if I'm wrong on this, for the amendment. So I know there's no amendment, but here's what I would like to see the body do. So this is an amendment to it. It's not changing anything, but it gives direction. We were all on the same page, but this is basically for my clarification. If nobody else, it's for me. That the ad hoc committee come back to this body with how they're going to conduct that meeting, of how they're going to go about in the right words, prioritization of what you're going to bring back in your orders of that meeting, because there really is none. It was kind of like an ad hoc, there's a lot of money out there, there's all these plans. So it would be a list, prioritization list. This is how I would like to see this amendment go. It's not abolishing it. It's going to keep both sides on the same page, and we can quit this pissing around that we're doing, and we can get on with moving with the ad hoc committee and getting into making the prioritization list, bring it back, and we'll know where the role is. That's pretty simple to me. I'm lost. I am so lost on this one, but that's, sorry about saying pissing, but I'm pissed. So, yeah, so anyway, but I just don't see us going anywhere right now. Do you all agree with that?
So are you making an amendment?
I'm making an amendment that they bring back to it of how they're going to conduct order on moving forward with the $10 million. So that helps with the yes or no on everybody understanding, because I think we're kind of still split with the yes and no of how we're doing things.
Okay, Ms. Wilson.
Point of order.
Yes, sir.
So I had an amendment before Mr. Wilson pushed forward his amendment. She withdrew her amendment, so the point of order is I should have the opportunity to make the amendment.
Okay. Did you have a second? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I'll second. Okay, did you make an amendment?
Yes, sir. But you said we had to deal with her amendment first.
That's right.
Okay, and your amendment was,
Well, sir, can I make the amendment? Do I have the floor to make the amendment at this time?
Did you request the floor?
I did electronically. Amber even.
I recognized him, and he made an amendment, and then,
Okay, but after she withdrew hers, did you request the floor?
I did, and then you told me that I could not.
Was that after she withdrew her amendment or before?
I've hit that button, what, about 3 or 4 times? Amber?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, we've hit it about 6 times.
Okay,
We, in this system, we're still showing Charlotte's original amendment.
We're back
So
at Charlotte's deal.
we have to put that in the system and let that register in the system before we can start going here and there and here and there.
Okay, well, I guess the question is, who requested the floor first, Mr. Hester?
Mr. Hester did.
Okay, then, if Mr. Hester has an amendment, then we need to deal with that first because he was first in line.
that's exact, okay. What was your amendment?
So, point blank, add 2 more people to it, one of them being a budget committee member. With the upcoming sickness, COVID and everything else, guys, one's out, one's not gonna be there or something like that. So I think adding 2, one of them with budget from the budget committee. But I will friendly hand over to Mr. Wilson. What was your amendment that you can tag on to mine and just make it?
Mr. Hatcher, let me ask you this. Okay, so you're saying that your amendment is to retain the committee,
Yes,
increase the population of the committee by 2 people, one of which would come from the budget.
yes, sir. And define the roles and responsibilities of that committee, first meeting.
Okay, and
There you
then, in that case, your definition would come back to the full committee for
Yes.
approval.
To come back to commission.
We would have,
Come back to commission.
Yeah.
Like so. Okay. We have an amendment on the floor. We have a second on that.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion?
Just we defined our role at our last meeting before we ever started when we said, we're meeting to prioritize all of these requests and to send them back to the full commission and the budget committee. We defined that, and hopefully it'll be in our minutes.
well, I think we can probably redefine it, Mr. Berry, with an order of merit list, tracking or something, a matrix.
I mean, that's fine, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but we did that on purpose for this very reason.
But I think with the experience from the budget committee and another commissioner having those on there, I think we could probably better serve the commission.
Okay, let me ask you this. Who would select the other 2 members of the committee?
Hopefully me,
Okay, as chair.
yes.
Okay, so that is your amendment. And we do have a second. Is that correct, Ms. Cunningham?
I'm sorry?
Okay.
You seconded it.
Second.
Yeah. you-
Nothing further.
Okay.
Question.
Yes, sir. Mr. Brown.
My opinion on that is, Commissioner Moore, Chairman Moore allotted the people he wanted on it, and I think we need to stick with those people. So that's where I stand.
Okay, anything else? Mr. Brady?
And I guess following up, Mr. Lefferts, since that was an ad hoc committee appointed by the chairman, can we add additional members?
County commission can add additional members. I mean, the committee, as I understand his amendment, the committee could recommend members because you said something that as chairman you wanted to choose.
Yes, sir.
But whatever this committee does, is just a recommendation to county commission.
Thank you, I just didn't know.
Okay, so let's restate this one more time. So Mr. Hester is proposing that the current ad hoc committee remain, that they will increase their population by 2 people, one of which will be from the budget committee. Those 2 people will be submitted to commission, I guess, for final approval, plus the committee will define its role, and that definition would need to be approved by us as well.
Yes.
Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Cunningham, does that sound okay?
Yes.
Okay. Any, Mr. Henderson?
If the chairman before set up this committee, should the chairman be the one that pick and choose the others? I mean, maybe with recommendation from the ad hoc committee?
I can't answer that, and, you
I mean,
know,
I just didn't know if
I don't know when.
Point of order on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when he's gonna be back. You know, hopefully it'll be very soon.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying, it would be you doing the choosing since you're chairman.
Well, I think in his motion, Mr. Hester's motion, he, as chair of that committee, would like to propose
Right, but
to commission, and that be voted down by the entire commission.
So what I'm asking is they come up with Robert Rules of Order or anything that if the chairman set up a committee and you're gonna add more to it, would the chairman be the one that add to it, or
No.
does it matter? I mean, that's just all I want.
You as a body can change the committee.
Thank you.
I call for question.
Okay, we're gonna vote on call for the question.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Now that has to, I mean, does that have to be seconded?
Is anybody waiting to have the floor? Because that's a mistake I made last month, so I don't want to make it again. Is anybody waiting to have to speak?
Because if there's no one waiting, we can go ahead and.
If there's no one, if there's no one,
I'm not looking at this anymore.
okay, if there's no one waiting, then you can entertain a motion to call for the question, but if somebody is waiting, we need to let them speak.
Okay. Mr. Hooks, these are old. They've all been cycled through.
Yeah, I know, I'm old.
Okay, so, well, right now, okay, so we have a motion to call for the
If
question.
no one is waiting, then it needs a second, and then it has to be approved by.
Do we have a second to Mr.
Second.
Wilson's? We have a second. Amber, call the roll.
Just call for questions.
Bale.
Aye.
Barry.
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yeah.
Cunningham.
Yes.
East.
Yes.
Gann.
Yes.
Hendrickson.
Yes.
Hester.
Yes.
Ferguson.
Yes.
Hooks.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Okay, that passed. So now we are ready to vote on the amendment. As put forth by Mr. Hester.
No voice call.
We may have to just because of the way the system is working.
State amendment, Mr. Chairman.
The amendment is that the ad hoc committee propose 2 additional members, one of which will be from the budget committee, and they will also offer a definition of their
Mission statement.
mission statement, or something like that, of what their role is to commission, and submit the 2 new members plus their definition of their role to commission for final approval.
And Mr. Hester be one chief, wasn't that in there?
That was what he was.
No, that wasn't part of it.
Well, he wanted to choose as chair,
Yeah,
so that's where I got it.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we're voting. Anything else? Amber, I think you'll have to call the roll on this.
We will.
Okay.
Bale.
No.
Barry.
Yes.
Rushiers.
No.
Cunningham.
Yes.
East.
Yes.
Gann.
Yes.
Hendrickson.
No.
Hester.
Yes.
Ferguson.
No.
Hooks.
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
What's that total?
Change my vote to no.
Too late. The voting's closed. You said, what is that total?
Yep, we closed.
9 yeses.
Okay. So even if your vote were to change, it still, it would pass. Okay, so that takes us to our original resolution, correct, Greg?
I thought the original resolution had been amended.
Okay, it's a minute, okay, good. All right, so that's,
That was voting on the amendment.
That was voting
Now we gotta
on
vote
the
that.
original resolution as amended, wasn't it?
No, that was the amendment.
that was the amendment,
That was the amendment.
Well, if, okay, did you voted? Okay, now I'm lost.
As amended.
Did we vote to amend it?
Yes.
And then we voted on the amendment?
Yes.
That takes care of the original resolution.
So that's done.
We
Yes.
voted on the amendment.
Well, the amendment that amended the original resolution.
We only had one vote. Takes two roll calls to get that. The reason you think we got 2 votes is because we voted on the call for question, then we voted on the amendment. Now it's the as amended.
The original resolution was amended.
We voted on the call
I
for
thought
question.
the call for the question was on voting on the amendment.
Amendment.
That's it.
Right. So first of all, you voted to amend it.
No. No.
Amber, what did we do here?
No, we did not. We were hashing out the amendments. Then we called for the question. Voted on call for question. Then we voted on the amendment. Now it's to amend as amendment. That's right. That's how it went.
I think that's the
Video's
closest
right there.
to what Mel said.
Okay. So when you call for the question, that was voting on whether to amend it.
Yes.
Okay, so then you still have to vote on the
As
amendment.
amended.
I thought we voted on the amendment.
Mr. County.
Is that not what we just did?
I don't know.
We voted twice.
Well, we voted on the call for question.
And then
we voted to
amended.
amend. And so now we have to vote on the amendment.
Vote to amend, now we have to vote on the
As
amendment.
amended, yes.
Okay.
To amend, okay.
Because that's the way I followed it. The call to, the voice vote, first one was the call to question.
Okay.
And then, then they all voted yea or nay.
Okay.
So-
So now we need to vote on the amendment.
As amended.
As amended.
Yes.
As amended.
If that's what his notes say, then that's what we go by.
So now we're going to go back to the original resolution as
As
amended.
amended, yes.
Okay, so do I need a motion?
No, you've already
We've already got
got
that.
it.
Okay, Amber, call the roll on the original motion as amended.
Fail.
As amended, no.
Barry.
No.
Rushiers.
No.
Cunningham.
Yes.
East.
No.
Gann.
Yes.
Hendrickson.
No.
Hester.
Yes.
Ferguson.
No.
Hooks.
Yes.
Meadows.
No.
White.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
6 yeses.
Okay, so that failed pass. Now, does that take us back to the very first resolution, whether to abolish or do away with the ad hoc committee?
You amended it to your,
Okay, so,
the amendment, the motion to amend passed, and then you voted on the amendment. Then you voted on the motion, you voted on the resolution as amended, and it
And they
failed.
failed. It's done with.
So it's done.
so that means the motion to, the resolution to abolish the ad hoc committee failed.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's still in place.
It's
The
got.
committee's still in place, yes.
Okay. All right. brings us to Resolution 11-21-07. A resolution making appropriations to nonprofit charitable organizations of Roane County for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022.
Excuse us, we're going through all of what just
Yeah,
happened.
we've got to clear this whole mess up.
Okay, Bob, she's working with that. Do we have a motion on this resolution?
I'll move with it.
We have a motion by Barry.
Hold on.
We have to reset.
Let us catch up just a second.
Okay.
10-minute cleanup recess.
Everybody click abstain on this vote, please. We have to clear this or it'll never go away.
Make sure number 6 is now. Yeah, it's, I found this, Andy's going to
Hey, Mike Hood, hit abstain. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody needs to abstain on this.
Greg, hit abstain.
All right, Chairman, you're ready.
Okay. Now we have this resolution up, Mr. Berry. You made the motion. You make the motion on your keypads. We've got a motion by Junior, second by First. Okay. Good day. Okay, Mr. Henderson. You make that.
Yeah, just get it on the floor.
Okay.
I'll get the floor to Mr. Berry. They'd like to say something.
Well, Mr. Ferguson will have to do the second, then I'll have to speak.
Okay. Greg, do you have anything to add to your second?
No.
Okay, Mr. Berry.
Yeah, we've had a really difficult time with our contributions, trying to get our numbers right. We amended our minutes last month, and see, we've got a resolution was presented here before we had met. So we're going to need to amend. We actually somehow allocated $1,604. We're out of balance $1,604 after our meeting was held. Just to go through, it was just, the budget's $135,600. We had allocated $137,204. So we have to either amend this tonight or meet again or something to get it in balance. But we're out of balance right now, $1,604.
Mr. Berry, we discussed that a little bit at Budget Committee, and Connie had made a recommendation, or said that we're $1,604 off, and it could. Connie, did you say that would come out of Mid-East?
That Mecca?
Yeah, we don't want it to come out of Mid-East. Mid-East probably deserves it. They probably need it more than anybody on this whole list.
Okay.
That's why we had given them $19,000 instead of $17,000. So they're probably the most important one on the list.
Yeah, but it is recognized as out of balance, so the $1,604.
$1,604 is I mean, I'm not sure where the Mid-East reduction came from. We spoke at the budget, at our meeting on that. So we've got, the last, I think one of the last things that we added $4,250 to Outdoor Kingston was probably our last one that we gave. Is it possible to take $1,604 out of general fund to make this balance? It's either that or cut 16.4. We thought we had it in balance, and we found that we weren't. So either we cut 16.04 out of somebody. I'd make a motion. We just take $1,604 out of the general fund to make this last, if we can, to balance it up.
Mr. Wood, can that be done?
Like I said years ago, you can spend it till it's all gone. It can be done.
So, would you offering that as an amendment?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's see here. Mr. Henderson, would you accept that amendment in your motion? Mr. Ferguson, would you accept that in your second? Okay, so what we'll be voting on is the appropriation to the charitable, to the nonprofits, plus we're taking $1,604 out of the general fund in order to balance.
Yeah, we came up out of after our meeting, we're out of balance. We can either cut somebody 1604 or take it out.
Okay. All right.
Doesn't really.
Mr. Hooks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've sat here for the last hour hearing discussions about just freely spending people's money and this, that, and the other. This budget is a line item of $135,600. Done being approved in the budget. Hasn't gone back to the budget committee for no amendment. So we either approve it as the bottom line and send this request back to this committee for them to bring it within the budget, or we vote it down.
Okay, are you?
I'm finished. I move that we send it back to the committee.
Okay. Hold on a second. Or is that, would that be an amendment, Greg? Or
That's a motion to refer it to a committee, so that's a separate motion
Okay.
to take precedence.
do I need to get a second on that and go back to the first motion?
You need to get a second on the motion to refer it to committee, and then you can debate that and vote on it.
Okay.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Cunningham.
You already got a minute.
Send it back to committee. Any discussion on the second motion?
Sending it back to the
Budget committee.
good.
Send it back to the committee, the nonprofit.
Oh, the nonprofit committee.
To come in balance with the 135.6.
We just have one
And we
amendment.
have a second on that. Any other discussion?
Just have one amendment at a time, right?
Well, that's a motion.
That's a second motion.
That's not an amendment, that's a motion. So you need to deal with that
I
motion.
would amend his motion. I concur, but we thought we had it in balance. We thought we were in good shape. I will move that we take $1,604 out of the Oliver Springs Historical Society for $10,000. Allocated $10,000.
That's a separate motion.
Okay, so that's the third one. Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Mr. Berry
And that gets us in balance.
to take $1,604 from Oliver Springs Historical Society. Do we have a second on
We
that?
allocated $10,000.
Are you going to deal with the pending motion.
We have a motion on the table right
You have a motion
We
on
have
the table.
two motions on the table.
Well, you have one motion that's already been made and seconded that needs to be dealt with. That was Mr. Hook's motion.
Well, what about Ron's original motion?
No, we have a motion on the computer right now, and that has to either be dealt with or washed.
Yeah, you have a motion to refer it back to the committee, so you need to deal with that.
Okay, we have a motion to refer back to committee. Any other discussion on this motion? Okay, let's vote on this motion.
Speak on.
The motion to refer it, this Mike's motion to refer it back to the committee, to the nonprofit committee.
I'll take the floor. I'll take the floor. Speak.
Okay, you have.
So I just keep this in mind, you know, we send it back to committee, we're gonna be paying people to come in and work that committee. Probably do we'll save a little bit of money that way, but if we could go ahead and resolve it right here today, we wouldn't have to spend the money for the committee.
I'm fine if we want to stay with the 135, 600.
Well, if you'll retract your motion, we'll do it.
In the computer, we have a resolution making appropriation to nonprofit charitable organizations of Roane County for the fiscal year beginning July 1. That's what's in the system. What are we doing with this, guys?
Okay, that one.
You've got a motion to refer the original motion back to the nonprofit.
So we have to deal with it first.
So that's going to have to be dealt with before you go back to the original motion, regardless of what's in the computer.
Okay, let's do Mike's motion by voice.
Okay. Bell,
This is for,
Refer back to the,
and you don't want to refer it back?
back to the nonprofit
It's
committee.
gonna cost us some money, yes.
Barry,
No.
Rushiers,
No.
Cunningham,
Yes.
East,
No.
Gann,
Yes.
Hendrickson,
Yeah.
Hester,
Yes.
Ferguson,
No.
Hooks,
Yes.
Meadows,
No.
White,
No.
Wilson.
Yes.
Seven yeses.
Okay, so that fails. That takes us back to Mr. Berry's motion as amended. Correct?
I don't know if it's amended or not. I would just say I concur with Mr. Hooks. It needs to be in budget. We didn't foresee the $1,604 shortage. But I would, in order to balance it, I would take, we've got $10,000 in there for Oliver Springs Historical Society. I would say, I would move that we take the $1,604 out of there. That balances it at $135,600.
Second.
And we have a motion. We have a second. Any more discussion?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Connie, on that, what did you say we budgeted, we went over for the habitat and what was the other we put in there?
Imagination Libraries.
I got you. So that makes everybody in line if we vote on this.
Okay, so we have, Amber, we ready to vote on this?
Yes.
Does it have to be, need to be down to voice
This-
or on the keypad?
Let's confirm what Mr. Berry said. His amendment is to move 1604 from the Oliver Springs Historical Society to cover the I can't say the word, but the unappropriated funds. And that was seconded by David Bell, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a second, so we're ready.
That it's an amendment to the main
Right.
motion.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to vote on whether to amend, right?
And then we'll vote on.
On the actual
On
amendment.
the actual.
Okay, right. Mr. Bell?
Barry, are you on that committee?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know who's on it, so yeah, if you're on the committee member, it's for it, I'm for
You ready?
Yes.
Bell,
it. Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Cunningham,
No.
Yes.
East, Gann,
No.
Hendrickson,
Yes.
Hester,
No.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Hooks,
No.
Meadows,
Yes.
White,
No.
Wilson.
No.
7 yeses.
Okay, so that did not pass.
The amendment fails.
Amendment failed. So we're back to the
As written.
as written. However, we are out of bounds.
This is private stuff.
And then that money will have to come from somewhere.
I thought he was saying, part of it was be back at the committee meetings again.
That was,
That failed.
that failed.
But the point of order, is this not a line item overall budget that we approved back in, what, June?
They exceeded that line item.
Correct. But still, it's listed in our 252-page document as a budget, right?
Correct.
That we approved. So any deviation of that would have to do what, Mr. Woody, could pass in here, I guess, right?
I mean, the amount that has been appropriated, recommended by the Budget Committee, approved by Commission is $35,600.
Got it.
The list that they're dealing with exceeds that by $1,604. If it is approved, we take the balance from the unappropriated reserve as a default.
Mr. Rhodes?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm trying to make an amendment here. I'd like to offer up an amendment that we stay within our 135.6 and that we allow the committee to come up with the difference equally shared among all of these nonprofits until it comes into budget compliance. Equally shared.
Equally shared by dollar figure.
We can't do that because we have a contract with Ethers for $9,200. So, I mean, you can do it however, but I'm just saying we got a contract with Ethers. I don't know about it. And just remember, the committee's in balance. The committee's in balance.
Not if it's at 16.
I'm saying the committee minutes will show that we were in balance.
Where's the discrepancy?
I guess you'll have to ask.
Yes.
It's been brought to my attention that I guess the nonprofit committee raised one of them more than they asked for. And I guess that's the reason I didn't.
Which one is that?
Mecca.
We did that from the very beginning, man.
Right.
We did that three meetings ago.
Did you raise it for more than they asked though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But it was part of our 135.6.
Well, I just want to make sure that everybody knew that they did not ask for what you're giving them. You're giving them more than what they asked for, which is fine.
Which one?
Mecca. They wanted 17. And we're giving them 19.
Mr. Chairman, do I still have the floor on my amendment?
You do.
My amendment would state that the one that was approved for more than the request, that's where we look for the money.
So,
That should be our decision. It's not the committee's. If you ain't gonna allow the committee to do their job, then might as well just abolish all the committees.
Greg?
I mean, we didn't make the mistake.
Okay, Greg, there's been one motion to refer this back to committee. I think it was
It failed.
failed. Can another person make that same, other than the original person, make that motion?
It has to be somebody
That didn't make the motion or second.
well, okay.
We can be on the other side of it.
It has to be somebody on the other side of it. That's what I was trying to say.
That voted yes or no.
It'd have to be somebody voting no. I think.
It'd have to be somebody that voted no because they were the prevailing party. So it would, if you want to bring it back up, somebody who voted no would bring it back.
Because I kind of see this is where this is headed, sending it back to their committee
And let them fix it.
and let them fix it.
I think I voted no. I'll make the motion, send it back to.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Bell to send it back to the nonprofit.
I would say on that motion, though, we're going to end up in the same spot. Let's trust the committee, whoever it may be. I know Barry's on it, whoever else is on it. Let's trust them to make the call, and let's not get in this deadlock again when it gets brought back up.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second.
Wait a minute, I can't second. I voted yes previously.
Can we have someone who voted no to second Mr. Bell's motion to send it back to committee?
Ferguson's got second.
Do what?
Sean Ferguson was second.
They just ignore this.
Yeah, that's old.
We gave that. I mean,
Yeah, that's.
Let's just go back to full stuff.
Okay, so we have motion on the floor by Commissioner Bell to refer this back to the nonprofit committee to balance.
We need a second.
Do we have a second?
No.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Who's that? Who seconded it?
Junior.
Did you vote no on the original?
I don't know.
He did.
Okay, he did. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to refer it back to the nonprofit committee for their consideration and to balance. Okay? Amber, call the roll.
Bell,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
East,
Yes.
Gann,
Yes.
Hendrickson,
Yes.
Hester,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Hooks. Commissioner Hooks, Meadows,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Okay. That's been sent back to the nonprofit committee. Resolution 11
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Chairman, I think we need to clarify something here. What was referred back to the committee, and you may want to do something on this to make it a little simple. What was in the packet that, I don't know whether you were talking about or not, was Resolution 11-2107, but it sounded like throughout all the debate, you were really wanting to talk about a resolution that was going to amend it to put all the new numbers in. So to make it clear, I think you ought to just maybe make a rule from the chair or something to which resolution you want. You want the 11-2107, or do you want the 11-21 with no numbers, which was going to be amended? I mean, I never heard I heard motions to approve the resolution, but never to incorporate the new resolution in it, because that's where all the numbers are that you were talking about. So I'm not so sure which one you all deferred back. I think what you wanted is to defer back the sheet that was laying on your desk, not the one in your packet. You all were debating something, and you were debating two things, but the motion, I think, was on the original resolution, not the resolution that was on your table. I mean, I came to that conclusion 45 minutes ago, but I was hoping y'all can come around to it, but since it got deferred, you need to make sure which one you're deferring.
That's the one I was deferring in my motion.
The one I understood to be
I got it
referred,
right here
the
on
one
the
that was out of balance.
But it was the original one.
The
that-
original.
Yes.
The original is what got sent back. Because
They never approved that.
this, as amended resolution, was never on the agenda.
Never considered.
Okay.
Like the one that says it was submitted at the request of the nonprofit committee,
Yeah, that one was never debated.
but, well,
I mean, it was never, I
who requested?
What you all should have done was brought that resolution that was originally, and we put that in as placeholder. Then what should have been done was should have made a motion to amend the original resolution to reflect what the commission or the committee had approved.
But we couldn't, we didn't have we weren't off the $1,640.
But no, the first thing should have done is acknowledge that the committee did meet, that we need to add the number 10.
They need to be substituted. You
with
should
the
have
adjustment.
substituted the resolution.
Who requested it from the nonprofit committee, the resolution?
The nonprofit committee made a, so the way the procedure has worked forever is when a committee makes a recommendation, a lot of times that generates a resolution that we file. Sometimes the committee says file a resolution, sometimes the action of the committee makes a resolution.
Okay.
Just as, you know, if you all call us to write a resolution, we will help you write resolutions. So I guess all I'm saying is if it's a clear understanding, this committee should be dealing with this substitute resolution. That other one, you may want to vote just to, you know, table it or pull it off forever.
This one.
The one in the packet. You all want to work off of this one, I think.
Yeah, but it's still off, $1,604.
It is, it is. That's going back to the committees, what I think you're wanting to do.
2107, that's the one?
So I make a motion to pull this one out of our packet and let them, because they've got it back to the committee.
No, it's the one that was in the main package, the one I think we need to just trash. And have this one to be refiled with a new number. That's going to be, instead of 1121, we'll call it 1221, which means it's December the year 2021. You all have a resolution that you have not had disposition on, or if you did, you're sending it back, but I think right here's the one you want to send back.
The one that was said here.
Well, we acted on 112107 when you said we're on resolution 112107.
Right.
Right, that's exactly right.
Well, can I make a motion at this point to send both of these resolutions back to the committee? Or do I need to make it just for this one?
I think you voted yes.
It's a different resolution now, Bill, it don't matter what I vote.
Hey, I'm going to second.
All right,
Okay, we have a resolution to take both of these back to.
that's a yes.
Okay, that would move all out. We have a resolution to send both of these back to the nonprofit committee by Mr. Hester, seconded by Mr. Bell. Any discussion? Please to God, let it be none.
All right.
Okay, Amber, call the roll.
Hold on one second here. Okay. Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Rushiers?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
East? Gann?
Yes.
Hendrickson? Hester?
Yes.
Ferguson? Cooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. We're in pretty good shape now. We only have about 10 more left.
That's right, you're right.
I know, I'm right. Okay. Next up, Resolution 11-21-08, a resolution to increase the health insurance line in the public defense function of the General Fund 101. Amber, is this working now?
Yes, we're back on track now.
Okay, so I have a motion by Hester, I have a second by Wilson, correct?
Correct.
Okay, Mr. Hester.
No comment.
Mr. Wilson?
This was discussed in the budget meeting, hiring a new employee, if I'm not mistaken, where she's adding on a family member, so this puts us in balance.
Okay. Any other discussion? Let's vote on this resolution. Aye.
Mr. Berry?
Oh, sorry. Roll call.
Okay, that passes. Next is Resolution 12-21-09, a resolution allowing Roane County to transfer operating responsibilities of Swan Pond Sports Complex to a city. We have a motion from Hester, second McGann. Mr. Hester.
No comment.
Mr. Gann.
Yeah, this comes to the Sports and Recs Committee, and we're just seeing if the city, will the city be interested in taking this over?
Okay. Mr. Okay, we got you there.
It's Wilson, man.
Mr. Wilson.
I'd just like to make an amendment real quick. Let's put this off for 30 days. Well,
I got it for you. That's why I'm number one.
well, it says.
You're next up. You're next up. Hold on.
to speak. Number one, my vote.
I'd like to put this off for 30, make an amendment, put this off for 30 days, allow the other cities to be able to put in for this, and they can come back in 30 days.
So what you're saying is any city who has
Any
interest
city
could
that's
come
here in
make
Kingston,
make a request.
Bring it back. So that's all it is.
So if, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
If I may, with the motion, that the amendment will allow any city to make a written request to, you want them to make a written request to the Sports and Recs Committee, to the County Executive's Office?
Yes,
Who?
to the Sports and Rec, please.
So the amendment is any city then needs to make a written request to the Sports and Rec Committee within 30 days.
Well, shouldn't, what I'd like to see them do is come down and see us.
Do what?
Have us come to our committee meeting.
But that could be, I mean, you can put a request for proposals out there or whatever. You know, but, you know, I think what I'm hearing from Mr. Wilson, he wants to buy some time, let whoever has an interest in taking this piece over, let their intent be known. Okay, you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
So Mr. Wilson, I think Sports and Recs Committee is November 23rd. You want to wait till December meeting to have them? That would be
60 days.
yeah, and we probably would have to move that because it'd be too close to Christmas. So if you want to say December, then we can set up a meeting for December if you want to.
That's fine.
If you want to wait,
Just make it 60 days.
if you don't think, well, could you make it 45? And that'll probably get us if we have to do early in December.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
So your motion is to
45 days.
defer this
For 45
for
days.
45 days to
With a written,
request
written request to the Sports and Rec Committee to come
from
back.
any city.
Yes, any city.
Okay,
So the Sports and Rec Committee to put a formal request out to all the municipalities.
Yes.
Okay. Amber, did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Wilson. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Commissioner Hester. Any discussion? Okay, so now we're voting on the amendment, correct?
I thought it was
Or the
a
motion
motion to postpone it for 45 days.
Right, with the caveat that any interested city contacts the Sports and Rec Committee with their request.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're voting on a motion to postpone it, so it's not
Okay, so-
really an amendment.
Okay, so let's vote on the motion to postpone. Are you, Amber, you ready?
Let's give them another chance.
Yes.
Okay. Cast your vote.
SOR took it.
Barry vote.
Y'all don't know what's not ready to vote.
East. East.
Here, let me see it.
I got it.
We vote.
I got him. It's just reading. It's right. Yeah, it's wrong.
Okay, that passed. Okay. Resolution 11-2110, a resolution to amend the revenue expenditures of the General Capital Fund 171 Government and the VEH Vehicle Subfunds. We have a motion by Hester, second by White. Commissioner Hester?
No comment.
Commissioner White?
Nothing to add.
Okay, any questions, comments? Anyone? Let's vote on it.
Get back in here.
Okay, that passed. Next up, resolution 11-21-10, no, -11, ARP Project 10, parentheses, 11-21-01, ARP 10. Request for an additional $15,000 to cover the cost of the HVAC project at the Roane County Courthouse. Motion by Hester, second by Cunningham. Shannon?
No
anything?
comment.
Charlotte?
Nothing further.
Nothing further, anyone?
This was approved by our at our last meeting.
And we talked about it at Budget Committee earlier. It's just a cost overrun, which in today's world, pretty much to be expected. Okay, anything else? Let's vote. Jerry. That passed. Resolution 11-21-12, ARP Project 11-11-21-01, ARP 11, Sewer Expansion to North Pine Ridge Road. We have a motion by Hester, second by White. Mr. Hester.
Mr. Woody, I thought these were, Charlotte and I thought these were removed from the ARP.
They were already filed with commission.
So what do we want to go forward? And I thought this cost here was $750,000.
Yeah, what this was is this is to get the sewer system on the north side of the interstate in Midtown, either by the Roane Utility District or HUB. Either one. The estimated cost from Roane Utility was $1.8 million. I think Candace said it was about $1.6, so we thought it for an estimate that was pretty reasonable. It was showing that we would be no more than 40% of the cost of the project. Of course, it's all subject to the Clean Water Act being approved under the Clean Water Act. We didn't really care from our standpoint who did it. We just think for the betterment of Roane County that this would be a good project. It was a priority project in our opinion. It was initially, if it's done by the Roane County Public Utility, it is a primary government. They are an organization that if they want to borrow money, we have to borrow money on their behalf. If they default, we have to pay their default. So this was a quasi-primary government if it's done by us, not if it's done by another agency. And it could be done for either one. What this would do would be reserve the money and then see which one of those two organizations may want to fulfill the request if it does comply with the Clean Water Act and ARP approval. We just saw it as a priority. We thought it was, you know, it's like somebody called me today, you know, does this mean we're getting a hotel down there? And the answer is no, but there'll never be a hotel till there's, you know, sewers down there.
Well, and we discussed this in our ARP meeting.
Yeah.
And then later on, I think we all agreed that, you know, minutes after that it was needed, so.
Y'all welcome to defer it, approve it, whatever. It's on the,
All right, I'll yield at this time.
Okay, Ms. White.
I have nothing to add.
Charlotte.
I was under the understanding that we were going to hold off on the rest of these,
all of them were already filed before the meeting.
yeah, I know, but yeah,
Okay.
that's what the ARP committee, so we'll go back to the ARP committee.
Okay. Mr. Bell.
That's what I said. I was over here, and that's my fault. I was over here talking again and missed the first one, but I just defer the next two to the ARP committee, and let's just run the go that path. ARP committee first.
That is. Okay, Mr. Brady.
Yeah, the next six.
Did he make a motion, did he make an amendment or something, a motion to defer?
He talked along the lines of the.
I would move that we defer the,
I got the floor.
oh, I'm sorry.
I thought you were done. I gave
No,
you.
I'm not done. I would make the motion to defer the rest of them. They are,
The rest of which?
the rest of the resolutions from 12 all the way to 17.
Okay. We have a motion to defer resolutions 12 through 17 by Mr. Bell. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second from Ms. Cunningham. Any questions or discussion? So we're deferring everything to the end of the agenda except for the
12-day rule.
one that we wait the 12-day rule on. So we have any questions, comments? Let's vote on the deferral.
Bell,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
East,
Yes.
Gann,
Yes.
Hendrickson, Hester,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Hooks,
No.
Meadows,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Okay, that passed. It takes us to our final resolution, which is the resolution naming an alternate chairman pro tem. And I think, again, I stated the case, or the reason why I think that would be necessary. We don't know yet when Mr. Moore will be back. We have a motion from Mr. Hendricks to name a chairman, and I guess it's Greg in this case, he needs to name a nominee.
Or do we need a second?
No, we just nominated.
Well, okay, let me, did we leave a blank?
We left it blank.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, first of all, decide whether you want this alternate office, and then you're gonna have to name it, the person. So I think if it were me, I would vote on the resolution to see, first of all, whether you're gonna create this office, and then have a second vote, take nominations.
Okay, so let's vote on whether to create this first. So we have a motion by Commissioner Henderson. Do we have a second?
I second.
Commissioner Gann, we have a second. Do you have anything to add?
Nothing.
Okay, so let's vote on that.
Does the resolution, does it have to have in there, the pay and everything like we normally would have on that? Or is it just the same as the pro tem and all that stuff?
Well, basically what statute says is in the absence of a chair and a regular chair, you can name somebody to preside temporarily The resolution does not set forth a pay rate.
I think the intent would be to whatever the pro tem's pay would be if they're serving in that position.
Well, we might want to amend it to cover that, to include that, because I think all the resolution says was that he would serve the same term.
Okay, Mr. Barry, would you like
Move
to-
to amend that the resolution would show that the emergency pro tem would receive the same pay as a pro tem if they're in the
Okay.
chair.
You have a motion, do we have a second to the amendment?
Second.
Okay, we have a second, any discussion? Do we need to vote on his amendment first and go back to Junior? Okay, let's vote on the amendment first.
Bell,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
East.
Yes.
Gann.
Yes.
Hendrickson.
Yes.
Hester.
Yes.
Ferguson.
Yes.
Hooks.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes. Okay, so that's passed, so we've got that, we've got the pay set on that. Now we go back to the original motion. Now we're going back to the original motion.
I'd like to nominate.
Wait a minute, we gotta create the position
Yeah,
first.
correct.
We gotta create the position first.
Yeah, as amended.
As amended with the pay. So we have your motion, we have second. Any discussion on creating this position? Yes, sir.
No, I just want to nominate someone also. I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Let's vote on creating the position.
Bell,
Yeah.
Barry,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
East. Gann,
Yes.
Hendrickson,
Yes.
Hester,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Hooks,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Wilson.
Okay, so Mr. Henderson, you had,
David Bell.
okay, you have David Bell. Did we take more than one?
You take more than one and then you vote. I mean, the nominations don't have to be seconded.
Okay, so we have nomination of David Bell. Your nomination,
Ben Wilson.
we have David Bell, Ben Wilson. Do we have another one over here?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to succeed or stop nominees.
Okay, so Greg, how do we proceed here? Do we vote?
Call them a name.
Are there any more nominations? Then everybody just tells who they're voting for, and then when your name's called.
Okay.
I should have missed this.
Amber? Just state who you're voting for.
Bell,
Well.
Barry,
Bell.
Rushiers,
Yeah.
No, which one?
Wilson. Bell or Wilson? Wilson or Bell?
Cunningham,
Wilson.
East.
Bell.
Gann,
Wilson.
Hendrickson,
Bell.
Hester,
Wilson.
Ferguson,
Bell.
Hooks,
Wilson.
Meadows,
Bell?
White,
Wilson.
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 You split. What do you got?
Just a housekeeping.
Yes, sir.
When you tally the vote, I got a housekeeping.
Okay.
Preempts programming for this one.
You'll be heavily watched.
We've got 6 and 6.
Greg.
Make the motion, rock, paper, scissors.
I don't know who would want this mess.
Hey, take my word for it, no, that wasn't the right
Until you
mind.
vote to adjourn.
Do what?
You have to take nominations until you all. How could it be 6-6 if you guys?
Okay, let's take nominations again. Yes, sir.
Bell.
We have nominations for Bell, we have
Wilson.
Wilson, any other nominations?
Okay.
Call the roll.
Before you vote, let's
We're
get
gonna
it.
have to slow this down
That's
here a
fine.
little bit, okay?
Bedtime.
4:30, gonna come early tomorrow.
Bell,
Bell.
Berry,
Bell.
Rushiers,
Bell.
Cunningham,
Wilson.
East,
Bell.
Gann,
Wilson.
Hendrickson,
Bell.
Hester,
Wilson.
Ferguson,
Bell.
Hooks,
Wilson.
Abstain.
Meadows, White,
Wilson.
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 6 of 6.
That is 6-6.
How can it be 6 and 6?
Because you abstained.
I did that in the hopes that would break it.
It's 13 people.
It wasn't
Wasn't tried the first time. It's 13 people here.
Yeah, how could it be tied this first time?
If you don't do it, call it.
I didn't,
Does it
one
have
thing,
to
I
be-
didn't get your vote the first time. I didn't have you written down. I didn't hear you vote.
Doesn't matter, it still would be 7-6.
Still would be
Still
seven.
short, we're still.
Oh, that's right. All
You gotta have 8.
right, let's do it again.
Well, no, hold on, one more. So on that, do we need the 8 or do we need the?
You've got to have an 8 to pass anything under the statute.
I tell you what, why don't would anybody make a motion that we fill this position next meeting?
I'll make that motion if it.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Amber, call the roll, please.
Who seconded it?
I don't care. Lord.
Bell,
Yes.
Berry, Berry,
So this is the deferred?
yes.
The filling of the position.
Fill it so look at
Yes.
Rushier,
Yeah.
Cunningham,
Yeah.
East, Gann,
Yes.
Hendrickson, Hester,
Yes.
Ferguson, Hooks,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes, sir. Well, hold on, Mr. Hooks.
If we're gonna have electronics, they need to work.
I agree.
These, our staff has worked themselves to death.
They have.
To keep up with everything going on. We either going to have a system that works, or let's take it out. That's what, that was my point.
Point well made. Do we have motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Hey,